Imitation is the highest form of flattery, right? Like, if you are imitating someone, that means you must really like what they're doing. I used to have this joke that the AFC West during the Peyton Manning years was trying to copy, mimic, imitate what Denver was doing. This is why Jack Del Rio went to Oakland after being Denver's defensive coordinator. Mike McCoy went to the Chargers after being Denver's offensive coordinator. I was just laughing, be like, as a fan, I was like, oh, that's cute. They're trying to, take our coaches and try to catch up. That's cute. Well, it worked, because currently Denver's sitting at the basement of the division, and both the Raiders with Jack Del Rio and the Chargers, even though Mike McCoy has since been fired from them and rehired by Denver and fired again, the practices he put in is still in that Chargers system and Chargers locker room, and they're both currently better than Denver. I don't even like saying that. Ugh. San Diego, though, is so much like Denver. San Diego has almost copied Denver's recipe for the 2015 Super Bowl to a T. Almost to a T. Now, am I saying that just because I'm biased? Maybe. I'll never deny that. But let's look at what the Chargers look like now compared to what Denver looked like in 2015. If you remember, in 2015, Denver was what? Oh, that's right, the best defense in the league. And why were they the best defense in the league? Because they had two things no other team had. Defensive line play, the most dominant pass rush duo in the league, and it was the start of the no-fly zone. What does San Diego have? Elite defensive line play, especially when you consider a guy like Corey Liuget, who plays a lot like Malik Jackson did for the Denver Broncos did in 2015. You have Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, which are playing at the same level and on par with what Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware brought. And you have San Diego's secondary, which is playing like the no-fly zone. And it was the only secondary in football to not allow a 100-yard receiver all year. Where they've actually done better than the 2015 Denver Broncos is at face value, I could tell you Peyton Manning was on that team. And then if you aren't under the age of 5 and have a memory of it, or you can go and research, Peyton Manning threw 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions that year. And you'd be like, oh yeah, that was the year he got benched for Brock Osweiler. Oh yeah. The Chargers actually have a far superior offense to what Denver had in that year. While Denver did have Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, who are still great players, the Chargers have a Keenan Allen, a Travis Benjamin, a Hunter Henry, Antonio Gates, even though aging, still a productive tight end, Phillip Rivers, Melvin Gordon. They have dynamic offense, and they have the recipe for the best defense in football. I believe Minnesota and Jacksonville have the best defenses in football, but if you look at what the Chargers do, and I think Denver perfected this formula, and you can see it happening in San Diego and even in Jacksonville, which is elite pass rush, elite corners, get okay linebacker and defensive line play. When you have the exception of your defensive line steps up, where Denver had a Malik Jackson and then Derek Wolfe played really well, but if you looked at the years after, it's really just Derek Wolfe on the defensive line and a bunch of guys. The Jaguars and Chargers are having good defensive line and good linebacker play, but the most important thing is the dominant pass rush and the secondary that can shut guys down. And San Diego and Jacksonville's a really close second, is doing that better than anyone. They also have, which I think is a huge benefit, they have the, oh look, no one's injured card. If you look at the NFL right now, there are so many teams that have been just, Houston's been obliterated by injuries. They lost to Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt, Merciless. Just completely destroyed, eradicated by injuries. You look at the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. You look at the Eagles now with Carson Wentz. Guys are going down left and right. Also, let me not, I don't want to throw shade or to sound like I'm disregarding him. The Steelers even have Ryan Shazier who's down, which, side note, those are some of the injuries where you really step back and you're like, okay, we're people first. That's terrifying. That is scary to see someone go through, and I hope nothing but the best for Ryan Shazier. You have all these injuries lined up in front of you from these other teams. The Patriots have Gronkowski, who you can bet on getting hurt again at some point this year. Don't have Dante Hightower. And if we're playing the game of, can we beat the 40-year-old quarterback? If you're San Diego, you have that kind of pass rush, which has always beaten the 40-year-old quarterback. You got to feel real good if you're a Charger fan right now. And I hate saying this. I don't even like the fact my backdrop right now is a Charger. The Chargers should 100% be the favorites to go to the Super Bowl this year, representing the AFC. If you heard or saw anything that you liked, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel and you like what I said, or you like me, or you're just like, hey, he looks weird, I'm gonna follow him anyway, hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you guys next time.